Hello, my name is Faith Bautista, and I'm the host of Owning a Piece of America. My colleague here is also a very good friend, Steve the Sugarman. Steve has successfully founded several businesses, including a mortgage company, investment advisor, and a bank called Bank of California. I work closely with Steve at Bank of California as he grew the bank to over $10 billion in assets and was received as one of the top banks in America by Forbes magazine. Importantly, Steve's leadership and community engagement enabled the bank to earn an outstanding rating from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, OCC. Over the past several months, I have been working with Steve to launch a community development financial institutions, Cdfi, that can help provide capital to homeowners and small businesses who are seeking to fund their own dreams. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks for having me, Faith.
Steve, so why do we need Cdfi, and why the banks can't just give loans to the underserved community?
Well, one of the things that we've seen over the past several years is that banks no longer are a monopoly when it comes to providing credit. Banks have had a hard time serving a lot of diverse populations. And what the regulators and what organizations like the NAAC and others have learned is that it really takes community engagement, involvement, and to come from the communities to understand how to serve them well for lending in a way that's fair and equitable. And the CDFIs do that. They have governance that's overseen by community leaders. They have programs, and they are there to serve the community. And so the CDFIs are great partners for banks, and they're great partners for the community, and they're there to really help those underserved populations get access to capital that they really need.
So for the viewers, so they can really understand it. So I'm, just to let you guys know, I'm the CEO of a National Asian American Coalition, NAAC, and I'm seeing this all the time, right? After they got their loan modification 5 years ago, now it's recasting, and they've gone to different banks and they cannot qualify. One pastor that I just spoke, you know, they have everything. So can you give a specific example on what our organization, our CDFI, can help them with?
Well, this isn't a small problem. It's an enormous problem. And what we've learned is that consumers are increasingly going to non-banks to meet their credit needs. And the FDIC just completed a study that showed that 20% of homeowners and small business owners now are underserved by banks, that they have to go outside banks to non-bank lenders like CDFIs to meet their credit needs. And it's not because that they're not great credits, it's because the regulatory environment, the banking environment just isn't serving them well. The new economy has demonstrated that non-bank lenders that are popping up everywhere are really those engines that are funding entrepreneurs. They're funding homeowners, and they're taking bigger market share. And those people that we need to serve well are those underserved populations that are underbanked, that banks aren't serving well, those new entrepreneurs and business owners, those people who are first-time home buyers. And community development financial lenders are very well suited and are an appropriate place to make sure that they get served well, they get their capital, and they get in a fair and equitable way.
Yeah, and I mean, as a banker, and I work with banks also, it's not that the banks doesn't want to give the loans, right? I mean, they're being restricted. And when you're talking about the non-bank lenders, are they also regulated?
Yeah, so coming out of this last crisis, there was an enormous problem about how loans were being made to a lot of people, a lot of at-risk populations. And the Consumer Financial Protection Board was developed, and their charge was to make sure there was no predatory lending and that there was fair lending. And banks, non-banks, all lenders come under the oversight of the Consumer Financial Protection Board. The one thing that's really
the CFPB.
The CFPB. One thing that's really important to note is that when the CFPB set up and looked at what happened and how we got ourselves where we got to, during the Great Recession, what they found was that organizations that had community governance and community oversight didn't experience the predatory lending issues and actually had as good of credit experience and served the at-risk populations very well, but they didn't have the predatory issues that some other organizations suffered from. And so there are organizations that are well suited, that the regulators permit to make loans, and that are designed to be able to fit this market need. Those are these CDFIs.
And how many CDFIs are there in serving the Southern California?
Well, there are hundreds of CDFIs in California. The issue is that many of them perform the financing service more as a hobby. The average balance sheet of a non-bank CDFI in California is just over $20 million. It's very hard to provide high quality credit and to really address this $1 trillion market if your capital is about $20 million. Right. What we really need is institutional quality lenders that serve these community development needs. We need large scalable CDFIs that have strong credit, strong data, strong reporting, strong analytics that can serve this market in a high quality way.
So Steve, as a CEO of the bank, why do you want to start a CDFI? I mean, what's your passion? What drives you in doing this?
Well, one, the chance to work with you. I mean, but I've had the chance to work across financial services, from broker dealers to a bank to a mortgage company, and what you see is that there are opportunities to serve consumers who have dreams, and you could take businesses and you can grow them quickly by serving consumers who have a need that the current organization is not well serving. With the lending environment today, whether it's mortgages on homes or loans to small businesses, people agree that there are areas that are just broken, where credit-worthy consumers just can't get the financing they need. That needs to be resolved. And it's not a question of whether it's a bank or a non-bank. It's a question of what's the best way to resolve that in a way that meets the need and that serves the community, and also that can serve your other stakeholders, employees, investors, and community leaders. And a CDFI is one of those ways you can do it. There are many ways to do it, but there's definitely a need, there's an opportunity, and there's something that we can do really good and serve a lot of people, but it will also be very good for the CDFI and for all the stakeholders who are part of it.
So I'm analyzing this, that, after the financial crisis, I mean, the pendulum really went to the extreme. And it's been, 11 years now since financial crisis happened. So do you think we should be back to the middle now? And I suggest, or I assume, or what I would like, is the CDFI will be the solution to those people that cannot just get loans. So let's talk about an example, so at least they can really understand.
Sure.
I'd like to buy a home, but it doesn't show on my income tax return that I'm making this much money. But I can't put 30% down. Most of the banks cannot get that loan, and I'm seeing that. So is that something this CDFI can do for this type of buyers?
Look, the number one thing that's important for any lender is strong credit quality. And I think everyone agrees that any borrower who wants a loan needs to have an ability to repay that loan, because you don't want to take advantage of anyone and you don't want to be seen as being predatory. However, there are a lot of borrowers out there that have, for instance, volatile income, that their jobs they switch, or they make a lot of money one month and not another month, or their taxes just don't show the income because of depreciation or other esoteric accounting rules. These borrowers are highly creditworthy. The FDIC's and the Department of Treasury has talked about volatile earnings as a source of frequent pain within the banking industry, where creditworthy borrowers can't get the financing they need. this is an example very similar to what you're giving. CDFIs are a great place for them to get financing. If they can repay their loan over time and they have demonstrated they can collect the capital for a meaningful down payment, more likely than not, these are credit-worthy borrowers. And there needs to be a solution so the credit-worthy people aren't treated as statistics, but they're treated as people. As you go back historically, credit underwriting used to be about understanding the person in totality, understanding their character, understanding their economics and their financials, understanding who they were. You wanted to know them as a person. Somehow we got away from knowing them as a person and substituting things like a credit score or a number. And that's fine for a big part of the market, because when you're dealing with hundreds and thousands of loans and you're doing it in an automated fashion, sometimes some businesses you have to do it as statistics. But the CFPB and the regulators, even during the crisis, when they were developing the new rules, had the prescience to understand that you needed to make room for community organizations and community lenders who could still understand the person. And if you look at their rulemaking, they were very thoughtful about this, and they understood that CDFIs, community development financial institutions, played a role that large banks can't play. They could get to know the borrower and do traditional, long-standing, proven credit underwriting, understanding the person. In the example you gave.
So Steve,
yes,
we'll be right back after commercial, but this is really like music to their ears, whoever's watching right now, because they should be looked at as an individual, and this is why this is really community development financial institution. So let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Owning a Piece of America presents Lifestyle with Asian Journal.
Hi guys, welcome to Owning a Piece of America. My name is Ryan Gallagher, and I'm here with Bob Hochstetter at Nellie Gale Tennis and Swim Club. Bob, how you doing today?
I'm great. Ryan, yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a beautiful day out here. Got tennis going on in the background. But before we get to the tennis, let's talk about you. I want to know your story. I need to know everything there is to know about Bob right now.
Well, okay.
Condensed.
All right. Tennis career, I started as a junior in Southern California. Okay. Went to a junior college, Pierce Junior College in Woodland Hills. From Pierce, I got a scholarship to a small school in Texas, East Texas State University, nice. An NAIA school. We won as a team. We won the national championship in 1972. I won the national doubles championship in 72, and then I turned around the next year as a senior and won the national singles championship. Wow. Went off and played a little bit on tour. Found that after 6 months, my checking account was the exact same as when it started. Realizing I wasn't going to make a lot of money doing that. At that time, the largest club in Southern California was being built in Woodland Hills, where I grew up. So I took a job as the head pro of the Warner Center Racket Club. From there, I started coaching kids, and kids and adults, but I really enjoyed coaching kids. I got very lucky. I had one girl who actually ended up as the #1 16-year-old in Southern California.
Oh, nice.
Ended up also being, still to this day, has the record for the youngest player to ever qualify and make it to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open. So from that point on, once you have one good kid, everybody comes to you. I ended up having 18 top-ranked juniors in Southern California. Was contacted by a gentleman named Cecil Spearman, who owns the Laguna Niguel Racket Club, asked me to come and run his programs. Came down here to Orange County, and then 23 years ago, the opportunity here at Nellie Gale opened up. I jumped on it because it's a gorgeous place, and it was a chance for me to run my own show. And I've been here for the last 23 years.
Wow, so I understand we're going to be talking to some more people that's a part of Nellie Gale. Who are we going to be talking to coming up?
We're going to talk to some of our members, some players that have played for years here at the club.
Okay.
We're going to be talking to one of my pros here at the club who's been here with me for over 22 years now. We're also going to be talking to a player that is one of the top 40-year-old players in the United States, and we're going to be talking to some players from our local junior college, Saddleback Junior College.
Awesome. Okay, so stay with us when we get back with Owning a Piece of America and Bob. We're going to be talking to a lot of different people, so be right back here.
Are you feeling left out from the housing market? Do you enjoy a lifestyle of health, education, traveling, and fashion? Do you want to start your own business but don't know where to begin? Watch Owning a Piece of America. Host Faith Bautista addresses these essential components that contribute in the success of your community and reinstill the promise and possibilities of the American dream today. She'll discuss how you can receive homebuyers counseling and qualify for micro-business loans. Owning a Piece of America airs 5 times a week right here on Charter Channel 188.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Hi guys, welcome back to Owning a Piece of America. I'm Ryan Gallagher, and now we have some new guests. So Bob, can you explain to us who we're looking at here?
First, on my left, we have Chris Creblay. Chris is a member here at the club, also one of the top 40 and over players. He's a tournament player in Southern California and nationally. Great player, has a great tennis background. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of interesting things for you. In front of me, this young lady is Felicia Master. Felicia not only plays on our teams at Nellie Gale, but she also works here at the club, is in charge of all events.
Oh, great. Okay, Chris, let's start with you.
Yeah, I started about 4 years old at Port Washington Tennis Academy. I started playing tournaments at 8 and 9 on the East Coast in New York for the Eastern Tennis Association. Started playing nationals at 10. Junior tennis throughout 18, and as high as I was ranked #1 in the East Coast. Ranked as high as top 30 in the nation in the juniors. Played Division I, University of Connecticut. Trained at, for a number of years at Nick Bollettieri Tennis Academy at Bradenton, Florida, when Andre Agassi was there. He was about 16, 17, just breaking it on the tour.
Had all his hair.
Had all his hair at the time, and I was about 12 at the time. So it was, tennis is more of I think, a lifestyle.
Okay.
I'm out here training 5, 6 days a week, playing tournaments on the weekend, traveling to nationals. I was ranked currently as high as 6 in the country in the 40s.
Wow.
So it's just something that I just continue competing.
Sure. And you said something off camera before. You were explaining how tennis is not something you can just really pick up without the proper coaching.
Yeah, it's a very technical sport.
Okay.
It's something. Look, I've been playing and competing, all my life, playing 6 days a week for 3 hours a day, going to school maybe 4 hours a day and just training, and I'm still taking lessons. I mean, you see Nadal and Federer, that they still have coaches and they're still tweaking their game. So it's just a game that you're always growing. There's always something you can improve.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not a game that you can just, typically just buy a ball and just
Sure.
teach the skills yourself. It's something that you have trained, pros that, can help you through the technique.
Man, I'm starting to worry. I don't think there's hope for me then. We'll see. Felicia, how are you doing today?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing well. So tell me, you, aside from playing tennis, you also have a pretty big role here at the club.
Yes, about 3 years ago, I came to Bob and begged him for a job. I was actually working at an opposing club.
Oh.
So I came over here and said, I want to do your activities and marketing because I know this club didn't really have it. So he let me come on board, and it's been a piece of heaven ever since.
Okay. How long have you been playing tennis for?
Well, I'm embarrassed to say a long time because I'm not as good as I should be. I grew up with a tennis court. I grew up in a community very much like Nellie Gale, north in Los Angeles, La Cañada, Flint Ridge, and it was a big tennis community as well. So I had the good fortune of growing up with that. Unfortunately, I didn't really have anyone to play with. So
that's tough.
I had the ball machine, and when my little brother grew up, I kind of had him to play with, but I was never pushed to play, but it was always something I enjoyed, and for fun I went out for my high school team, made it, and then played a year in junior college as well.
Oh, nice.
And then kind of took a long break from it and got back into playing when I started working for a club. And it's just a great way to exercise. It's fun. You don't feel like, it's actually a workout. and obviously a great way to meet people.
Okay, so explain this to me. I've watched tennis. I've watched the Opens and all that. There's different types of courts, right? So this one's blue. Some of them are green.
These are the hard courts, right?
So it changes.
Yeah, you have the 4 Grand Slams, which represents, you have the Roland Garros, which is the red clay, and then you have the hard courts at the U.S. Open, and then you obviously have the grass in Wimbledon.
Right.
And then you have a different type of hard court over an Australian Open that plays a little different. But, you know, in Southern California, I would add that, you know, we're very fortunate that we have the weather that we do. That's why you see the top players, the Americans, coming from, you know, California, Florida, Texas, and, you know, it's the weather conducive that you can play all year.
So, but does it change the play on different courts?
Yeah, it does change the play because the ball's a lot slower, which changes the style of play that you're going to play. You're going to have to hit a lot more balls. You're going to have to be in a lot better shape to be out there on the red clay.
So the hardest clay, or the easiest one to play on, is which one?
Well, I would say the balls are going to not, you know, the rallies are not going to last as long on the quicker courts because the points are going to end faster. So the guys that are bigger, stronger, they're going to, you know, be able to put the ball away faster. They're going to have less rallies on the hard courts and the grass courts because it's a faster game.
Okay. So I'll be on the easiest court out there when I'm learning. But we'll be right back with Owning a Piece of America. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Which planet are we living on? Right here.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Hi, welcome back to Owning a Piece of America. I'm Ryan Gallagher, and now I have more friends, some new friends here with me. Who do I have here, Bob?
Well, here we have tennis's true love couple. All right. On my left, we have Coella, and on my right, we have Jeff Gelman. They're both from Hawaii. They've known each other for a long time, have been in a long-term relationship, I think. Jeff plays for Saddleback. Coella is doing her graduate work in physical therapy. So they've got some interesting stories for you, so I'm going to let them take over.
Great. Well, Coella, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing so good. I'm at tennis club, and I don't really know how to play tennis, but I'm here, and apparently I'm going to learn. Jeff, what's going on, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So we'll get into the love thing in a little bit here, but let's first. I want to get like a little bit of background on each one of you individually. Sure. So, Coella, we'll start with you. So you're from Hawaii. Tell us a little bit about that. How you grew up, why you're here now, what's going on.
Sure. Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Kona. We both were actually, and I spent all my years throughout high school there. I was born on the Big Island. I was raised there, but I actually went to middle school and high school on Oahu at a boarding school.
The gathering place.
Yes, yes. I went to an all-Hawaiian school called Kamehameha Schools.
Oh, nice.
So I was there. I was a boarding student from 7th grade till I graduated high school. And then after that, I actually had a full soccer scholarship to, a full soccer scholarship.
What don't you do?
To the University of Texas at San Antonio, and I was there for 4 years. I received my Bachelor of Science degree in kinesiology, and then I applied for a physical therapy school at Chapman University, and that's what has brought me here. So,
that's awesome. So,
yes.
Man, I always get so amazed when we do these interviews, how many hats all these different people wear, and like, I couldn't even imagine doing that when I was in my early 20s, all this different things. So, okay, we'll come back to you. But Jeff, let's hear about you now.
All right. Well, for me, it's been a little more mellow, more chill. I went to all basic public schools, all on the Big Island. I played high school tennis. I played number one doubles on the team, all through 4 years. Went to the state championship multiple times. So that was a good fun experience for me. My schooling for college wasn't quite as exciting as hers. I started off community college on Oahu, actually. I went there first. Did a year there and then decided to come here actually for Saddleback for my second year of college. And starting here, I played on the team, played 1 year here on the team, and then I decided, well, school's just not for me right now. So I decided to go back home where I felt comfortable, worked there for a good amount of time. Actually lived in Texas with her for a while she was in school. That was a good, fun experience. And then ended up coming back home, worked some more again, and then here I am now continuing my schooling in business. And it feels good.
In business, huh? Mm-hmm. So your physical therapy.
Yes.
Your business. So when you're playing, you don't really need anybody there to like, you know, give you a massage or anything. You just kind of do it yourself because you know where all the pressure points are.
She's got it all.
Or anything.
I'm still learning.
And you said you played soccer as well,
Yes.
besides tennis.
Yes, I played soccer and tennis since I was really young. My mom's a soccer player and a tennis player. My dad's a tennis player. They actually met playing tennis. It's the only thing they have in common. Yeah, and so when I got towards the end of high school and I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do soccer or tennis, I decided to play soccer. It's just more of a grueling sport. Tennis is like a lifelong sport, so I figured I can pick up tennis once I'm done playing soccer, and that's what I've done pretty much. Yeah.
Are you better at tennis or soccer?
Soccer.
Wow.
Well, you know, we gotta. I can teach you maybe how to play. I'm joking. No, I'm joking.
Lessons in, you know.
No way. So let me get to another thing here. So your parents met playing tennis.
Yes.
And they fell in love.
Which is funny because it's kind of the exact same thing for my parents as well, actually.
Yes.
So there's a trend.
Yeah,
There's a trend.
Because my mom grew up on Oahu, played tennis pretty much her whole life, and then my dad learned tennis when he was older and moved to the Big Island from California, San Diego, and they met together at a tennis tournament, and then they kind of just came together from there as well.
So there's kind of like this is a trend. So you guys don't know this. Well, maybe you do a little bit. You caught on. But they're a couple here. And they're, love is a score in tennis, right? That's 0.
Yes.
So are you guys in love?
With tennis,
No.
yes.
Ouch. Okay, Jeff, you can get out of here.
I know.
I'm joking. Okay, so does tennis actually help to keep you guys out of trouble? Does it because like I talked to Chris before, and he's a pro, but he said he has no time for anything else. Does it keep you guys out of trouble?
I'd say it does. I mean, it keeps me very busy especially with school and then tennis. You know, I'm trying to always keep up the game and keep practicing. So it definitely keeps me from doing all the partying and going out doing the crazy stuff. You know, so more level-headed, more under control.
All the stuff that you want to do at a young age, and
I did maybe a couple of years
and
ago, but not
now you guys are just like playing tennis. And I was watching you guys earlier, and you're extremely amazing.
Thank you.
So I want to get out on the court a little bit and actually hit and embarrass myself because I don't embarrass myself enough. But so give me a little bit more of a background about this community, how you guys fit in, how you guys love it.
Well, it's been really cool being here. We've been very open up real easily with everyone, especially like right when I got here, especially joining the tennis team on Saddleback. I met Bud Davis, the other head coach here, really soon. Really fast, and
Bud.
so
I called him Don. His name's Bud. Okay,
Bud, yeah.
I got it. I'm like, I knew I said that wrong.
Yeah, but so like once the second I met him, I kind of just got involved really fast, especially with this club here, and it's just been very helpful. Everyone's been very helpful, very nice. Get a chance to play a lot of tennis, a lot of people, meet a lot of really cool people too on top of it. So it's been really fun being here and everything.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this community, especially coming to Nellie Gale, we get to meet like such a wide range of people, and you know, we come like every weekend in the mornings at 7 o'clock to come play tennis with a bunch of different people, different ages, different backgrounds, and it's just really fun being able to meet these people, and I think they enjoy when we come because we kind of bring a different life to the game, and so
the youthfulness.
Yeah, they like having us.
So thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day and to come talk to us at Owning a Piece of America. So whether you're old or whether you're young, you can always fall in love with tennis or fall in love with each other. So I'm Ryan Gallagher. Thanks for watching Owning a Piece of America. Take care, guys.